All right, Sistas fans, with a dash of haves and have-nots in there. Last night, I don't know, I was just in one of those moods for meme making, and I made a post that it just came to me after I was doing the post about, Jasmine and Fatima, which will be its own separate video. I decided, you know what? Fatima's getting arrested. Obviously, she's getting out thanks to the help of Andy and, whoever else, but I feel like without a shadow of a doubt, if one particular character from Tyler Perry in his history of characters in the legal field actually was involved with this plot, they would have no issue getting Fatima off. And this meme, which almost at the time of the recording of this video is a little under 1,000 likes so far with 71 comments. Fatima wouldn't spend an hour in police custody if Veronica Harrington was her attorney. And people went nuts. Even the Ice Queen herself messaged me telling me that she loved the idea. And the caption I said was, "Tell me I'm wrong." And everybody's like, "Hell no, you were right." Now, here's the thing. Again, this is just a fun little meme. But time and time again in the haves and the have-nots, and it just gets to the point where when you look back at the series as a whole, you really could tell when Tyler got to the point where he just wrote a lot of these characters to be one note. There were times where I know it might be hard to believe, but there were times where Wyatt actually had character. He wasn't just the addict of the Cryer family. This man actually had some story arcs and moments in the series that had you going, damn, I wish we would have explored this more, or I wish Tyler would have done more of his character, but instead he just constantly got into the same rut over and over again. Now with Veronica, of course, she was the star of the show pretty much the moment after Amanda was killed off. And from that point on, she was the quote-unquote bad bitch of the series. But it got to the point where it felt like every season Tyler was trying to outdo, okay, how can we make Veronica outdo the antics of the previous season for ratings and talking points? But the thing about it is, and I don't blame fans for forgetting it. It's easy to forget there were moments where it showed us that Veronica was not one to be underestimated in the realm of law. This woman owned the courtroom whenever she was faced with charges that were placed on her or when she was representing someone. Seriously, go back to the early seasons. Even in the later seasons, for as bad as they were, this woman did not even back down from the freaking FBI. She put them in their place. So, it seems to me, without a shadow of a doubt, if Veronica Harrington was the legal representation for Fatima Wilson, hope I got the last name right, she would be in and out of jail before you could say Sisters Wednesday. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Jeremy, that's a nice thought, but there's a lot that couldn't happen with that. Like, for one, why in the world would Fatima be helped by Veronica Harrington? Veronica Harrington would probably look down on her as a, hood rat or something. But I don't think so. Also, the fact that, well, Jeremy, isn't Veronica dead? And look, believe it or not, this might seem a bit out of character for me of all people, but this could be the one time you will hear me ever say this on the channel when it comes to something Tyler Perry related. 2 words. Fuck continuity. Yes, I said it. Basically, this could definitely work in a number of ways. For example, if you want to connect the haves and the have-nots with sisters, here's how to do it. Now, hear me out on this one. You might need to somewhat extend your boundaries, or what is it? The suspensions of your disbelief. But, okay. Veronica Harrington is a character on the haves and the have-nots. We know this. Madea mentioned this in the farewell play during the tour. She name dropped a great attorney that she's aware of, that she knows, Veronica Harrington. It is not official. When I say this, it is not official that Fatima Wilson is in any way, shape, or form related to Madea. But I also made another meme that did pretty well with the followers, and it's the hungry need a Snickers meme. Basically, it's like, hey, you're not yourself when you're hungry. And basically, it's Zach and Fatima. Crazy must run in their family. You got Medea with the chainsaw. I'm going to tear up Hayden's apartment. Fatima, eat a Snickers. Why? Because you act like your Aunt Medea when you're hungry. Better? Better. And then she's Fatima again. Folks, in no continuity has it been confirmed that Medea and Fatima are related. I just said that in the meme for jokes. Crystal did say in a TV Line interview once that, hey, you know, as far as I know, Fatima and Medea aren't related, but you never know with Tyler Perry. He might connect it somehow, like, you know, Fatima is Fatima's aunt or great aunt. You never know. But also the continuity that Crystal created for Fatima is that her family used to be in a lot of gang banging, drugs and stuff like that. So that's why she's studying law. So in the event her or her family gets in trouble, she's able to help them out. So given Medea and the fact that she is known to hang with those kind of people, in terms of, you know, her past and, you know, obviously to get her drugs and weed and whatnot, who's to say she might be related to one of Fatima's, you know, older relatives or something along those lines? If Tyler Perry wanted to, he could easily do that. Now, when you take that into consideration, okay, Medea is aware of who Veronica is, which by extension means Veronica knows about Medea. I have no doubt in my mind that Medea was possibly represented by Veronica at some point, probably even far back when Veronica was still practicing law before her addiction to painkillers and other, you know, substances made her retire from the bench, so to speak. Well, not the bench because she wasn't a judge, but an attorney. Remember, Jim, David, and Veronica all met in law school. So Mabel Simmons could have been one of her early cases and whatnot. You know, before Veronica got so sedity that she wouldn't dare works with the like of Medea. But it seems to me that Veronica, even if she was a bit snooty to Mabel when they first met, I'm about to go on a serious tangent here, but what if in the Mabel's, no wait, because I don't know how old Veronica is. I know that she has to be past 50, I think, so the age thing probably wouldn't work. But what if Veronica is, wait, okay, I think Veronica definitely has to be older than Medea, I mean younger than Medea, but that doesn't mean in her early days of being in law she couldn't have represented Mabel, meaning that in the upcoming Mabel series, okay, yeah, you gotta possibly be a little loose with the continuity there. But imagine Mabel getting arrested in the Mabel series, and a fresh up-and-coming attorney, Veronica Harrington, is given Mabel as one of her first cases. Again, I don't think it would work unless you stretch things a bit, but here's the thing though. Didn't the dates of when Mabel was in her 20s in the flashback to Rosa Parks conflict with the whole, oh, it's the 80s and she's in her 20s thing? So I think there's like a 10-year weirdness there. Look, Tyler could figure it out, but technically I could see that kind of working. All right, well, in any case, more to the point, even if Veronica was snooty, Mabel wouldn't have it, so there might be some sort of like mutual respect or even like a coolness between Veronica and Medea. I could see that. And as an extension of that, you could have it where Veronica knows about Fatima due to her relation to Medea. Maybe she doesn't know Fatima directly, but she's aware of her lineage and might actually have a bit of respect for Fatima for being an inspiring lawyer, and she's getting her start working at a law firm, which is something that Veronica could relate to. So I could see some people are like, man, Veronica would never help her. Yeah, I think she would. Let's be honest here, Veronica probably slept around with some of the family members, and given that, you know, this actually leads to the tension that some people have. I don't know, Jeremy. We know that Veronica likes her thugs and whatnot, and, you know, jailbirds, so who's to say she wouldn't make a pass at Zach? Because of the fact that there are a lot of traits between Benny and Zach, and that actually makes sense. I mean, look, both are like, you know, have what women, you know, consider a nice build, you know, muscles and whatnot, tattoos. They have jail records and whatnot. They have good hearts, but they don't always have the best track record. Sometimes they let their anger get the better of them. I mean, hell, remember, that's how Benny and Veronica first met when she was trying to get him out of jail in season 1 after he got railroaded by David. Then from there, that's how things eventually started when she got him out of jail again for, fighting and beating Quincy in front of the strip club. But with Zach, man, that would be wild. So yeah, more to the point, Veronica and Fatima, I think, will be an interesting pairing, if only for like a couple episodes. And you're like, well, Jeremy, what about the haves and have-nots continuity? Here's the thing. I think it could work one of two ways. You just think or forget about Veronica Harrington and her potential fate at the end of the series. A. Explanation 1. Or A. Veronica Harrington coming to Sistas to help out Fatima does not contradict what happens in the haves and the have-nots, because this could happen off screen. And what I mean by off screen is, even though Veronica shows up in the haves, even though Veronica shows up in Sistas to help out Fatima, that doesn't mean it could have never happened during the continuity of the haves and the have-nots. I mean, remember, there were episodes where Veronica wasn't there, and she could have been doing something off screen. She could have went out of town for something and, went from there. Another thing that could have happened is option B. Veronica Harrington can exist in the universe of Sistas, but she's not the same Veronica Harrington that exists in the haves and the have-nots. Again, if you're a Marvel fan and you watch Spider-Man No Way Home and Loki and, all these other shows and movies, and you know about different universes and timelines and variants and whatnot, but it's not as complicated as it looks. Think of it this way: did the character of Edward, aka Eddie from If Loving You Was Wrong, that showed up in the Medea family funeral movie, was that the same Eddie from If Loving You Was Wrong? But it worked. It was funny for the moment. I mean, when Medea mentioned or name dropped Veronica in the play, does that mean the Veronica that Medea is aware of is in the haves and have-nots continuity, or a Veronica Harrington from the continuity of the Medea plays? I don't know, but it could work. And to be completely honest, there are so many other scenarios where I could see, like, let's say, various haves and have-nots characters popping up in other current Tyler Perry projects, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it contradicts or diminishes the haves and the have-nots in terms of the timeline that we know of. So yeah, I could definitely see Veronica showing up to help out Fatima. Let's be honest here, we know it's not going to happen, but it's just a fun thing to talk about and speculate. And of course, we all want the Veronica and Victoria meeting on the Oval, but yet again, I've already done a video about that a long time ago. So what do you think? Do you think that Veronica could pop up and be Fatima's lawyer? And keep in mind, they already filmed season 5 of Sistas. We don't know if it's the final season, but let's just be honest here. Zatima, based on the success, will get a season 2 and beyond. So who's to say she couldn't show up in the future of Zatima? So I'm just putting it out there. Do you think Veronica Harrington would be an interesting addition to Sistas or Zatima if she were to pop up at some point? And given the fact that Andy is a lawyer and works at a law firm, wouldn't it be wild if we saw, let's say, Veronica and Andy going head to head in the courtroom? I don't know why, but that would be freaking awesome. So thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit subscribe and hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel.